Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. Today, we have an exciting lineup of news stories to share with you. First up, Hong Kong stocks have taken a hit as investors react to the increasing likelihood of a Trump presidency. The Hang Seng Index fell by 0.2%, with other major markets in the region also experiencing declines. Japan, South Korea, and Australia all saw their indices drop as the market braces for potential trade barriers and higher inflation. Meanwhile, China's central bank has cut key interest rates to stimulate economic growth after the recent Communist Party plenum. In the world of high fashion, Graff has unveiled its new Galaxia campaign, a dazzling display of high jewellery inspired by nature and the cosmos. The campaign features model Rianne van Rompaey showcasing exquisite pieces, including a 130-carat emerald and diamond suite and a yellow diamond set adorned with over 200 carats of diamonds. The breathtaking visuals and cosmic theme make this campaign a must-see for jewelry enthusiasts. Finally, the 2024 Paris Olympics are set to make history with a floating opening ceremony on the River Seine. Athletes will sail towards the iconic Eiffel Tower, promising a spectacular start to the Games. This Olympics will also be the first to achieve gender parity, with women making up half of the 10,500 athletes. The closing ceremony will be held at the Stade de France, and the event is expected to draw massive crowds. Please stay tuned for more details on these stories and other news items. Thank you for watching, and please continue to stay tuned for detailed coverage. South China Morning Post: Hong Kong stocks continued their downward trend as the possibility of Donald Trump securing a second presidential term weighed on investor sentiment. The Hang Seng Index dipped by 0.2% to 17,377.34, extending a 4.8% slump from the previous week. The market reacted to President Biden's withdrawal from the U.S. presidential race, endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris, which many believe could pave the way for Trump's re-election. Trump's potential return to the White House has raised concerns about renewed trade barriers and inflation, reminiscent of his earlier trade war with China. In response to these uncertainties, China's central bank cut key interest rates to stimulate growth, a move analysts saw as a bid to bolster economic reform. Notably, Sunny Optical Technology and Heideleo International Holdings saw significant declines, while Hebei Kelly Automobile Equipment soared on its IPO debut in Shenzhen. South China Morning Post: Graff's latest high jewellery campaign, Galaxia, captures the celestial beauty of the night sky through its stunning creations. The campaign, featuring Dutch model Rianne van Rompaey as the muse Galaxia, showcases over 1,160 carats of jewels against a green cosmic backdrop. Highlight pieces include an emerald and diamond suite with over 130 carats of Colombian gems, and a sensational yellow diamond set from the tribal collection. The campaign also revisits iconic designs from Graff's signature collections such as Lawrence Graff's signature, Butterfly, Wildflower, and Tilda's Bow. Each piece reflects the house's dedication to craftsmanship and the pure beauty of rare diamonds and gemstones, with designs inspired by the facets of diamonds, nature's wildflowers, and the timeless charm of feminine bows. South China Morning Post: Chopard unveiled its latest red carpet collection at the Cannes Film Festival, drawing inspiration from fairy tales to create 77 whimsical and enchanting pieces. Under the artistic direction of Caroline Schufeli, the collection features a blend of fantasy and nature, with designs spotlighting both mythical creatures and real-world animals. Highlights include a whale ring adorned with sapphires and diamonds, and a pair of earrings featuring fluttering fairies with briolette diamonds. The collection also includes a sculptural oak necklace with rose gold and titanium interlaced with gem-set leaves, and a mushroom ring sparkling with orange, brown, and cognac diamonds. Chopard's timepieces, such as the diamond and emerald watch, added to the allure. Celebrities like Eva Green, Hunter Schafer, and Greta Gerwig graced the red carpet, adorned in Chopard's dazzling creations, making a striking statement at the festival. South China Morning Post, the Paris Olympics, marking a century since the Games were last held in the city, promises numerous innovations. The opening ceremony will be a spectacular parade of athletes on the River Seine, watched by 320,000 people along the riverbanks. This ambitious plan aims to make the event more accessible, though it carries significant security risks. Gender parity will be a hallmark, with women making up 50% of the 10,500 athletes, a milestone in Olympic history. The introduction of prize money for gold medalists by World Athletics, despite the IOC's disapproval, adds another layer of excitement. New sports like breakdancing will debut, while surfing will take place in Tahiti, showcasing the Games' global reach and inclusivity. Japan Times, the flow of semiconductors and other restricted goods from China and Hong Kong to Russia has decreased by 20% this year, according to U.S. Commerce Department data. Transshipments through Hong Kong of high-priority items, such as microelectronics, fell by 28% between January and May, while those through mainland China dropped by 19%. Despite these reductions, Hong Kong remains a significant hub for sanctions evasion. The data highlights ongoing efforts to curb the supply of critical components that could support Russia's military activities in Ukraine, reflecting the complex geopolitical dynamics at play. Nikkei Asia, China's central bank has cut key interest rates to stimulate its struggling economy, lowering the one-year loan prime rate to 3.35% from 3.45%. This move, aimed at boosting business and consumer confidence, comes after the central bank kept the rate on one-year medium-term lending facility loans steady at 2.5%. The rate cut follows a disappointing GDP growth of 4.7% in the second quarter, below expectations. Despite recent efforts to address property market issues and spur consumption, including a $41 billion program to manage unsold homes and encouraging appliance upgrades, analysts warn these measures may not be enough to revive demand. The reduction in lending rates reflects an urgent need to bolster economic growth, though it risks impacting lenders' profitability and weakening the yuan. South China Morning Post, the UK property market is showing signs of recovery as buyers from Hong Kong and mainland China anticipate a potential interest rate cut by the Bank of England. Analysts believe that lower mortgage rates could attract a surge of international buyers, particularly those seeking homes for their children studying in the UK. Inflation in the UK has stabilized at 2%, aligning with the Bank of England's target, which supports the case for an interest rate reduction. This positive outlook has already led to a slight increase in London home prices. Developers and property agents are ramping up their marketing efforts in anticipation of increased demand. For instance, Savills is launching a major UK project in Hong Kong, featuring a 23-story residential tower in White City, London. However, the potential introduction of new tax measures, such as a value-added tax on private school fees and the abolition of the non-domiciled tax scheme, could affect international investors. Despite these challenges, the overall sentiment remains optimistic, with many expecting favorable mortgage products to enter the market soon. The Globe and Mail, illicit shipments of semiconductors and other restricted goods through China and Hong Kong to Russia have decreased by a fifth this year, according to previously undisclosed U.S. Commerce Department data. Despite this decline, Hong Kong remains a significant hub for sanctions evasion. The transshipment of advanced components, including microelectronics, through Hong Kong fell by 28%, while mainland China saw a 19% reduction. U.S. authorities attribute this drop to aggressive enforcement and engagement with companies involved in transshipping. However, China continues to be a major concern for the U.S. government, which has accused China of supporting Russia's war in Ukraine by exporting necessary parts and equipment. The U.S. has imposed several rounds of sanctions on entities with alleged commercial links to Russia's military, including Hong Kong-based shell companies. Customs data from C4ADS revealed that over 200 Hong Kong-registered firms shipped nearly $2 billion worth of goods to Russia between August and December 2023, including high-end chips from companies like NVIDIA and Texas Instruments. The ease of setting up firms in Hong Kong has facilitated restricted trade, raising concerns about international security and stability. Guardian, 2 exiled pro-democracy Hong Kong activists have been blocked from accessing their pensions, raising concerns about the role of Western financial institutions in the persecution of Chinese government critics. Ted Hui, a former legislator now in Australia, and another high-profile activist have had their pension savings frozen by HSBC and Manulife, respectively. Hui's assets were frozen shortly after he fled Hong Kong in December 2020, and although he managed to transfer most of his funds out, his pension remains locked. The second activist, an Australian permanent resident, has also been unable to withdraw his pension savings due to an investigation by Manulife. Both activists have been issued arrest warrants for allegedly violating Hong Kong's national security law. The law, imposed in 2020, has led to a crackdown on civil society and forced tens of thousands of Hong Kongers to leave the city. Despite international condemnation, Hong Kong authorities do not recognize British national, overseas, passports as proof of permanent resettlement, blocking many from accessing their pensions. Critics argue that the national security law is being used politically to target pro-democracy figures, with financial institutions complicit in the repression. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong still has considerable potential for collaboration with Europe despite geopolitical tensions, according to Thomas Gnocchi, the outgoing head of the local EU office. Gnocchi emphasized that while Hong Kong has shifted its focus to emerging markets in the Middle East and Southeast Asia, these regions cannot replace the economic relationship with Europe. Gnocchi noted significant changes in Hong Kong since the national security law came into effect, impacting the city's openness and business environment. He highlighted the importance of maintaining Hong Kong's uniqueness and suggested areas for cooperation, such as sustainability and green finance. Gnocchi also pointed out that the number of European companies in Hong Kong had decreased due to political changes and the pandemic, stressing the need for the local government to address issues beyond security to improve the business climate. He will leave Hong Kong next month, with Harvey Rouse nominated as his successor. South China Morning Post. From the mid-19th century until recently, Hong Kong's major department stores like Lane Crawford and Whiteaway, Laidlaw and Co. employed floorwalkers, European managerial staff who patrolled the store floors. These men, often retired military officers, brought a commanding presence that inspired confidence. Floorwalkers were adept at maintaining order and providing courteous, firm assistance to customers. They could discreetly identify potential shoplifters and resolve issues with tact. A memorable story from the mid-1960s recounts a floorwalker at Whiteaway's Kowloon branch who kindly covered a shortfall for a group of children buying a birthday gift for their mother. This gesture left a lasting impression on one of the children, who never forgot the floorwalker's kindness. Although the role of floorwalkers has largely disappeared, their legacy of service and discretion remains a cherished part of retail history. South China Morning Post. Noah Holdings, one of China's largest asset managers, is expanding its Asia-Pacific operations to meet the growing demand from its wealthy Chinese clients seeking global investments. The firm has recently expanded its Hong Kong office and plans to open a new office in Japan. According to Grant Pan-Ching, Group CFO and CEO of Noah's Hong Kong office, Hong Kong is crucial to the company's globalization strategy, serving as the first stop for many clients. Noah, which manages assets worth 153.3 billion yuan, primarily serves high-net-worth Chinese-speaking customers worldwide. The company is also considering Dubai as a potential next step in its expansion. Pan noted that clients are increasingly interested in diversification rather than high returns, and NOAA organizes seminars to educate them on the benefits and risks of various investment products. He praised Hong Kong's potential as a wealth management hub due to its financial expertise and proximity to mainland China, emphasizing the importance of trust and personalized service in managing clients' investments. South China Morning Post. Olympic sailor Neil Pride reminisces about the thrilling yet perilous journey to the 1968 Mexico Olympics, where he represented Hong Kong in the Flying Dutchman event. Pride, originally from New Zealand, moved to Hong Kong to pursue his Olympic dreams and vividly recalls the excitement of the opening ceremony in Mexico City. Despite the lack of photographs from the event, his memories of raising Hong Kong's flag and marching before 80,000 cheering spectators remain indelible. Pride and his partner Peter Gamble faced logistical challenges, including a risky drive through Mexico to Acapulco, but managed to secure Hong Kong's best Olympic performance at the time by finishing 14th. After the Games, Pride sold their boat and continued to compete in various sailing classes, eventually founding his own company, Neil Pride, which became a significant supplier for Olympic windsurfing events. Guardian. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed profound gratitude to Joe Biden for his unwavering support amid Ukraine's fight for freedom, following Biden's decision not to run for re-election. Zelensky highlighted Biden's bold decisions and leadership during Ukraine's most dramatic moments, including preventing Putin's occupation of Ukraine. The ongoing conflict remains dire, with recent Russian advances and deadly strikes on civilians in both Ukrainian and Russian-controlled regions. Meanwhile, U.S. efforts to boost Japanese production of Patriot air defense missiles, crucial for Ukraine's defense, face delays due to a shortage of critical components. Despite a reduction in smuggling of restricted goods through China and Hong Kong, these regions remain hotspots for sanctions evasion, underscoring the complex geopolitical landscape. South China Morning Post. After separating from U.S. venture capital firm Blue Run, Lanchi Ventures is carving out its identity by expanding into Hong Kong, aiming to connect Chinese AI entrepreneurs with global markets. Ji Tan and Terry Zhu, managing partners at Lanchi, emphasize the firm's goal to become a global VC fund despite geopolitical tensions. Lanchi's focus remains on tech-driven early-stage investments, particularly in AI, 3D interactive technologies, and robotics. Recent investments, such as GenSpark AI and Optics, reflect this strategy. Although Chinese VCs face challenges like tightened IPO rules and fundraising difficulties, Lanchi remains optimistic. The firm believes China's manufacturing strength and talent pool could drive significant advancements in AI, positioning it to potentially leapfrog ahead in the global tech race. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Morning coffee, fresh off the press. Reading headlines, feeling blessed. World keeps turning, stories unfold. Every moment news gets told. Flipping channels. and figures, images bright. News keeps rolling day and night. Headlines and headlines, can't get enough. Learning about the world, yeah, it's my stuff. Headlines and headlines, stories are full. Knowledge is power, truth to behold. Politics, science, sports, and art. Every story plays its part. Global voices, voices near. Every headline loud and clear. Need the latest, got to know. Never stopping, always go. Scrolling, swiping, reading on. Daylight breaks in the dawn. Headlines and headlines, can't get enough. Learning about the world, yeah, it's my stuff. Headlines and headlines, stories are full. Knowledge is power, truth to behold. Need the latest, got to know. Never stopping, always go. Scrolling, swiping, reading on. Daylight breaks in the dawn. Headlines and headlines, can't get